All right. Once again, you're tuned into the boys over at Man to Man on Dash Radio. We're excited to be sitting down with a young brother-in-law, a young stud in the wall.
Yes, sir.
This guy is an up-and-coming singer from Seattle, Washington. We're not important on this episode. We're going to spit it to Daniel Proper-Yates. Yates, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
What's good, man? It's good to be here. What's going on with you?
Not much. Tell me where you're at right now. You're like on a couch. You got some nice, like modern art back behind you. What's going on? Where you at, dude?
I'm currently in Vegas. I'm in an Airbnb. I just landed here this morning. I woke up super early, like 5 a.m. But I'm going to the Grammys right now. They're having an upcoming artist Grammys. They invited me, so I'm just kicking it, man.
Okay.
I want to ask you
Okay.
just
That
straight
sounds
off the rip. When you came on the Zoom call, you were like, hey, like I'm in, just landed in Vegas. I'm going to the Grammy. How did that all come about? Who did they like, I guess, formally introduce you and asked you? How did that even come about?
Yeah, no. So basically my bro Cooper, I don't know if you've ever heard of the artist The Kid Season, but he manages him and he works like through marketing with some ambassadors that are running this upcoming artist thing through the Grammys. And they asked him to reach out for artists, because it's their spinoff. It's the first time that they've done it. And Cooper's like, hey, this is my bro Daniel. He signed to Mosey. Just check him out. And then they just like listened to my music and like saw who I was as a person. And then they just like formally invited me. They sent me an email and stuff. So then I was like, oh, bet. I'm pulling up.
Did you say no just because it was April Fool's and you're like, nah, I'm just kidding? Or
Nah, bro. Nah, I couldn't risk
I'm
it.
just messing. Well, what if somebody's all right? Say somebody just saw you, listen to your music one time, saw you on the street. Well, I mean, how would you describe your music? Who is Mr. Daniel Proper-Yates? I mean, you got some bangers out right now. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I would just say that I'm a human, and I make music and I happen to be somewhat good at it, I guess. And I basically just want to play a role that is leading to like the youth. And I'm not even the biggest artist in the world, but I strive to be that. And I just want to basically show anyone that this is possible. And me as a person, I don't know, I would describe myself as like, I don't know, intuitive, I guess. And when it comes to my music, I would just say like, it's kind of, you can't put it in a box, you can't label a genre on it. So
Right.
I would say it's random, bro. I don't really know the exact words to put it.
that was kind of my I guess usual questions are like, because we were debating about it a little bit between me and Andy, kind of off air, but like you just said there's no real genre, but if you had to describe your like music as a genre, because
Yeah,
there's you're kind of a little bit of like a raspy rap, and then you're kind of really soulful in some of your stuff, and it's just like,
yeah,
what is that like?
yeah. People
Everybody.
ask me this all the time.
Yeah. So what is
Um,
that? What is that? Is that a new genre? Are we gonna make a new genre for Proper-Yates or what?
Right.
I have like 3 points to this. One, like I said, I would say me as a creative and me as a whole, you can't put a genre on me. But I would say for particular songs, you can, you know, like Haven't Seen You, that could be more R&B, more soul. But I would say like my newer stuff, like New Heights and Lord Help, it's like you said, it's a mixture of the rap and it's a mixture of the singing and it's a mixture of stuff that's never even been done, you know. Obviously it's been
Right.
done, but not in this way. So honestly, that's something that I'm working on too, is just creating a new genre. Whenever I record, I usually just listen to my stuff like for the whole 24 hours before I record. So my subconscious just feeds off my own music. So it's basically a loophole, you know? Because when you go into the studio and you listen to artists before, it's subconscious. So you like kind of bring out whatever you're listening to. So if it's
Right.
just you over time, it's just you know? And that's something that
Right.
I've been working on. Yeah.
I think that's interesting that you said that, because I feel like a lot of musicians, they listen to their stuff a lot of the time, but when they're cranking somebody else's, they'll go into the studio subconsciously and bring like their vibe,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So,
That's something I
would you
try
say
and
that?
stray away of.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, that's something that I try and stray away of because I don't
Right.
know, bro. I just want to do me. But if I'm say I'm listening to like Justin Bieber or someone old like Stevie Wonder, and I want to bring that vibe to the studio, then I'll do it. But I would have to really
Right.
be like feeling it, like maybe listen to a song and then be like, oh, I want to make something like this. But for the most part, it's like I said, just listen to me.
Would you say it almost benefits you to have more of an opening style to you, or when it comes to musicians, do you want to try to find a niche? Is it better to find a niche sometimes? Obviously, with these big
That's
artists,
actually
you see
great.
them
That's
doing
a great
everything.
question. That's a great question. Um, I'd say it's both. There's pros and cons, you know? I would say honestly, like it's kind of a con because most artists they do have a niche and listeners can grasp onto that and you can just build faster. But in the
Mhm.
same way, it benefits you because you draw in people from all over the place, but it just takes longer to build. And eventually those people will learn to love you for you and they can
Right.
learn to love all your songs because they're you. And then they actually see it, you know what I mean? They see the vision.
Right.
So
So
pros and cons.
what's your favorite then type of music? Is it really just based on your mood, or what's your like? If you could just, I guess, a real question is if you had to write like a certain type of song or a genre, what was your like has been your
Ooh.
favorite kind of genre or style of song that you've written?
Um, well, before I even answer that, I listen to all music. I listen to Sam Cooke, Stevie Wonder, Thomas Rhett, Justin
Mhm.
Bieber, Sofago. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
I'd say it comes in moods, obviously, but it also just comes in time. Like if it's in the summer, I might be bumping like some country, you know? But
Right.
recently I've been listening to a lot of like Sofago, SSG Kobe mixed with like Justin Bieber and like old school stuff like Sam Cooke and stuff, which is funny too, because I literally just I don't know if you know who SSG Kobe is, but I literally just ran into him on the plane
Yeah,
and he's doing the same thing.
he's hard as fuck, dude.
I
Yeah.
just ran into him on the plane and I was listening to Caddy before I even saw him. So I dapped him up. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, I was literally just listening to your song. He was cool and we're about to link up at the Grammys and stuff. So that's cool.
I remember one of my homies showed me SGK like last summer, and he was like, "Bump this, dude." And I was like, "This shit is way too hard for
Yeah,
me,
he's
dude. I
hard,
can't do
bro.
all this."
Yeah.
This guy's screaming in my ear right now. I don't know if I should be crying or what's going on, dog.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he's so hard. He's so hard.
let's just talk about like growing up, dude, musical background, inspiration, and just kind of how long you've been doing music and things like that.
Yeah. So my dad's actually a musician and he's pretty old. I'm only 20 years old and he's 62. So you see the gap. So I grew up on
Mhm.
older things like Everly Brothers, Sam Cooke, like very, very soulful, you know? Um,
Mhm.
so I actually, when I was growing up, I didn't want to be anything like my dad, not because he was a bad person, just because I wanted to do my own thing, you know? Kind of just
Mhm.
like, you know, you know how it is. Um,
Yeah.
so growing up, I wanted to do like sports and stuff. And then when I was 15, he had all the recording equipment, but it was from the 80s. So I had no clue how to use it, especially at that age. And I was just singing around my friends to the radio, and my friends were like, "Hey, bro, like you have a good voice. You'd actually sing." And I kind of took it
Right.
as a joke, like, "Oh yeah, like maybe we can
Yeah.
record." And so one day we were just like, "Should we just record?" And then we tried it out, and I just fell in love with the process of it. And then
Mhm.
before I knew it, I saved up money at a job and went to my first studio when I was like 15, 16. And I'm 20 now, so I've been doing it for like 4 years and it just kind of evolved.
So was there
And
ever
the,
a moment then there that was like I'm going to like pursue music, or was it just
Oh
like
yeah, first day,
always
first day,
okay?
first day. I'm one of those people where it's like, because a lot of people can say, oh, I'm going to be an astronaut when I grow up. I'm going to be whatever they want to be, you know, but most of the time they don't do it. And I was always someone that was like, nah, if I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So when I was 16 saying, I'm not going to college, I'm going to do music, I don't care how long it takes, I actually meant it, you know? And I think people see that now because I'm still doing it and this is my career, you know? But there, from the day I started, I knew I was going to do it because I just fell so in love with it and it just felt right.
then how did the signing with Mosey then? Like, how did you elevate your game up to getting connected with him and Charlie and those other guys?
Yeah. Well, with Charlie, that's just my bro. We're from Seattle together.
Gotcha.
He lives like 10 minutes away, but I didn't even for real know him.
Mm,
My one of my best friends, Brendan Solness, shout out him. He engineered Blueberry Fago, and Charlie went to him because he'd just be recording artists in the city. And he actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, listen to this kid." Before Charlie was anything, he had like a
right.
thousand followers. And I was like, "Oh, he actually has a lot of potential." He wasn't what he is now, but I was like, "Wow, like this kid's good, you know?" And then
Hmm.
so I reached out to him, and we were just cool ever since then, and we kind of elevated together because I wasn't anything either. And then for the stuff with Mosey, I grew up in the same area as him, so we actually went to school together. But he was very shy, and he's a year below me. So I was cooler with his older brother. Like we would hang out and stuff since a kid. And then Mosey blew up before I even started making music. And then I started making it. And I was never the type of person to be like, "Hey, yo, like I make music now, you know, fly me out." You know what I mean? Like I was never like that.
Right.
So I kind of just let it happen. And he just recognized me through time, you know, because he's from the city, he's tapped in. But basically, what
Right.
happened was 2020 December, he was back home for the holidays in Seattle, and I play Xbox with his older brother. And
Hmm.
I would just send him music and stuff. I didn't even know Mosey was there, and he was just playing my music out loud. And then Mosey was like, "Who's this?" And then Noah was like,
Yeah.
"Daniel," because he had known me from school, and he was
Right.
like, "Daniel, what?" So he hit me up and he flew me out, and I got a one way. I thought I was gonna be out there for like a week. Ended up staying
Yeah.
there for like 4 months with like 7 outfits, with Max, my manager.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, it was just history. It was just great vibes.
Out
Uh,
to LA or
Yeah,
flown out
yeah,
to
yeah.
where?
Yeah, he flew me out
Gotcha.
to LA.
I was just going to ask you just the process in which, as I guess we've talked to a couple. I guess Charlie's a good, I guess, example, and then there's a couple other like younger artists. I would say, probably under the age of like 25 that we've talked to, and I guess my biggest like question is like, where do you find like your passion in terms of keeping it going because you're so young? Usually, artists don't usually get real popular and I guess national popularity until I guess you hear about them there's a over the years. And but where does your passion come from in terms of like keeping at it? Because it's kind of the same with our podcast. We're kind of like been doing this
Yeah,
for a
for sure.
while and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like until you get like really popular, where's that passion come from? And
Yeah.
is there a way to?
These are great questions, by the way. These are really good questions. Um, Honestly, bro, if I didn't get paid, if no one listened to my music, I would still be doing it. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to the love for it and the passion in general for music for me. For you, it'd be podcasting. It's just like talking to your bro. I like doing
Hmm.
that too. So it makes sense for you guys. And for me, I like making music. So it makes sense for me.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, like I said, I would do it if no one listened to my music. But I don't know. There's also times where it's in the industry in general, you have the highest highs and the lowest lows. So some days, like today, I'm at the Grammys. I'm like
Hmm.
with all these big people and I'm like doing an interview and I feel good. But tomorrow I might be like, oh, like I'm so underrated. Like, when will people understand? So it really just goes up and down. But I think if you're just meant for something, then you're just meant for it. And I truly 100% believe that I'm meant for this. So I just ride it out, man.
So I guess the follow up to that, if there was a career that without music, what would you be doing if you weren't writing music? If you had to pick something, what are you doing if you're
If
not if
if
you're not writing music?
Working
if I
for
couldn't be an
Pops.
artist,
If there's no music on the world, what are you doing? What is Proper-Yates doing if there's no music?
I'd probably do I'd probably do something in fashion. Um,
Hmm.
I actually styled a Rita Ora music video like a couple months ago.
Oh,
So I kind
nice.
of like to dabble in everything. But I'd probably do something in fashion. And I look super bad right now. I haven't even shaved or anything, but yeah, probably fashion.
Throw on that SPF, dude. We all need it. Um, talk about making relationships and connections as a musician, right? I feel like it's such a saturated market. Trying to put your name out there. Talk about just meeting new people, especially where you're out there in Los Angeles and right there in Vegas is a good example, right? How do you stand out and how do you make it also not sound like you're an annoying ad person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, honestly, just being yourself. Like,
right.
I mean, living in LA is a huge perk, of course. In Seattle, it's like everything's online and anyone could be like, oh, who just DM'd me? Oh, this loser. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unless they're really like kind-hearted people, and they are out there. Dude, the DMs, Max tells me this all the time. The DMs are actually insane because everyone's on their phone, right. And it's a 50-50 chance. If they say yes, they say yes, and they could lead you to more people, Mm-hmm. But I would say living in LA is definitely a perk for me because you can go to a party or you can be at a restaurant. And dude, I met Tom Holland the other day and Jamie Foxx, like randomly at a restaurant. Yeah. So, I met the Kid Leroy and stuff. Like, you'll meet these people just randomly, and it's up to you for what you do. At the end of the day, we're all people. We're all humans. It's just like you and I talking. So you just go up to them and you're like, hey, I really like your stuff. You can tell if someone is like an ad, right. Like a little bot running around and listen to my stuff. You feel me?
Right.
So I would say just being yourself and just being confident in what you do. Mm-hmm. Basically act like you're on their level, and they'll respect you.
Right. Well, let's
talk about your I was going to say the single, right?
I was going to say, let's transition to the new single.
Right.
Man. Yeah.
All right, man. Proper-Yates, tell us about the single that you just came out with, New Heights, day after my B-Day. Shout out Pisces gang.
Belated birthday, bro.
Dude, appreciate it. It's a fire song. Tell us a little bit about that song, and then we'll talk about what you got coming up at the end of April.
Yeah, that song. I actually just freestyled it randomly. I was about to work with these producers at the studio, and I wanted to warm up. So I was like, hey, just throw on like a Sofago type beat or something. Ended up all working out. Like the producer already followed me and stuff. I didn't know who he was. Shout out Ziggy K actually. But yeah, I just freestyled it, made the song in like 10 minutes. And then I ended up loving it. It's one of my favorite songs. Yeah, it's one of those songs that you can't really put in a genre. You could label it as rap, but there's also some singing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like what I like about your music, because it's just there's not like a certain like, I guess, lane that you get, and it's all from like you said, from like what I said even earlier, like the raspy rap and the singing and stuff like that. But with this song, I guess another thing that I see through artists is like they're telling a story, and especially being so young, you're kind of telling a story from what your life is and how you're getting bigger and stuff like that. And I think this is a good song that kind of sees like it's coming through. So talk about kind of just you starting to maybe even subconsciously feeling that you're starting to make it. You're at the Grammys for, heck's sake, what I mean? So what's that like all been like for you, just kind of growing as an artist?
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. It feels like a blessing. I always am thankful for whatever I have. But at the end of the day, I'm still just like a nobody, no matter how big I get. So I always feel like I can do better, but there is times where I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm here right now with these people, not worrying about a single thing, when some people have to do things that they hate to live paycheck to paycheck, so I feel very blessed. It's been crazy. Definitely. It happens so fast, but when you're around people that you love and you're doing things that you love, it just feels easy, bro. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I mean,
how do you see your songs getting better? And that's probably not the best way to ask the question, but
no, that's a good way to ask the question.
From over time, you know what I'm saying? Like, where have you seen yourself improve?
Okay, so from over time, not from now to the future.
Well, it can be both, yeah. And then where do you, how can you see yourself advancing?
So from where I started to me now, bro, I'm so much better. That's a good question. Dude, and the crazy
say from like the last year, like the last year,
What makes you say you're so much better? What start us from the beginning of like why take us like through a little bit of like why is
And we ain't talking about equipment, you know what I'm saying?
no,
No,
but
yeah. No,
what do you
actually, most of my songs I record in my room, but basically, I said that and I chuckled at that because I listened to stuff like that I made when I was 16, 15, and I picture myself where I was when I made it. And dude, I thought it was so hard. Like I thought I was so good, you know? And that
Mhm.
comes along with that confidence thing. But and I still think I'm good. And maybe I'm crazy. Like I still think my older songs are good. And I mean that in the most humbling way as possible. But I don't know, dude. It's just funny to look back at like some of the lyrics I was saying and like how the times have changed, or like say I was talking about this person, or you know what I mean? Just cringy things that anyone could self-reflect on and be like, oh, why did I say that? You know? So in terms of how have I gotten better, I think one, I sing all the time now. So I think I've gotten better just vocally, like maturing my vocals. I was going through puberty at the time and stuff. Yeah, just
Balls
maturing
hanging
my
a little bit.
vocal. Yeah, exactly, bro. Just maturing my vocals, and lyrically, I think that I'm a lot more, I don't know, a good word to describe that. Just mature. I just have a different mindset that I did when I was 16. You know what I mean?
Right.
well you
Different ways to
Right.
put different things.
I want you. You have a homework assignment after this interview. You're gonna go
Okay.
look up a song on YouTube. It's called "Only in the Night," and
Okay.
your
No, do
boy
not do
your
that,
boy
dude. Do not do that.
Andy was on there rapping. So I want you to
No
give us
way.
a rating of
No,
that.
no, we're not. My
Mama
rap
tapping.
game started and ended very quickly for a very good reason.
You got to
No,
rate
I'm
it.
gonna
You got to
tap
rate.
in, bro.
Yeah, you got to rate
We were all
his
trying to
rap.
just spit, dude. No, but no, it's funny though, because like when I listened to like our first episode, like we're so dull, like, there's no enthusiasm, So I was just curious as if to where you were like, no, I put more of like a voice into my songs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you
No,
probably
for
already, I
sure.
don't know if you've had that as a musician just to begin with, but I'm just curious as to like, it's just more, I don't know what it is, like just more
No,
umph in your
bro,
songs.
for sure. I take that literally too because obviously I'm recording my voice, so you need umph. Um, Sometimes I'll listen to like periods or eras of my songs, and I've changed a lot as a person in the last 4 years. So in certain eras, in certain time frames, I sound different, and I'm talking about certain things. And sometimes I'll listen to my stuff and I'll be like, why can't I record like that anymore? You know? And I realized that I'm gonna look back where I am now and be like, oh, why can't I record like that anymore? You know, we always just change. But I think there was a moment when I was just like, I would be like whispering on songs sometimes, or like it comes back to the confidence thing, you know? And I'm just like, you know what? I made it this far like for a reason. So why
Mhm.
not just take this to the next level, add energy, you know? And obviously for
Right.
certain songs, it doesn't make sense if it's slower, if it's sadder, you know? But yeah, there I definitely take a different approach when I record now. And I think it just
Right.
comes back to the confidence thing, like I've said like 5 times. But yeah.
And then what do you bring into this new song? You got another single dropping in April. Do we know the title of this song? And then what do you bring into this song?
Yeah, it's called Purpose. Um this is one of my favorite songs I've ever recorded actually. I was just in San Francisco. What am I bringing with this song? I'm bringing my whole heart. This song really means a lot to me. Most of the time I freestyle when I record, but I actually wrote the song out and put the
Mhm.
time into it. I'm singing a lot of emotion, you know? I think it's a perfect song to
Yeah.
just listen to in silence, you know? Might not be the best party song, but
Right.
yeah.
I
A
was
lot of
going to ask you a little bit
vulnerability.
about just your process of writing. Then you said you sat down and actually wrote this song. I mean, compared to actually just going in there sometimes and freestyling, how do you like, you know, sit down and decide that you're going to write a song like that? Then, is there a reason
Yeah.
a
I
reason
mean,
why you
I
picked to
mean,
write that one?
honest honestly, when I was listening to the beat, it just felt like I needed to tell a story, you know, and it felt like I knew what I wanted to talk about. Honestly, the only part that I wrote was the hook. Um, and then I kind of just went from my emotions off of that. So I didn't technically write the full song, but normally I don't even write the hook. When I say write, I mean I knew what I wanted to talk about. I had a plot, so I started writing ideas down, and then I just went off of that. When I
Right.
usually record, like for New Heights, for example, I just went in the studio and I was like, I cut the loop, so you don't gotta worry about it, you know? And then I
Mhm.
just went bar, 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 bar. And that's how I
Yeah.
usually record. But for Purpose, it was a little different. Like I experimented with this word or I experimented with this melody, and I just kind of created a masterpiece over like some time, you know? It took actual time.
What have you learned the most about marketing yourself over the past couple of years?
I've learned that if you don't make TikToks, you're losing it. That's what I've
Hey,
learned.
plug the TikTok. Is it just a name?
Daniel Proper-Yates, go tap in. Yeah.
Go
Daniel
tap in.
DANIEL PROPERYATES.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll throw that in the description of this episode. Yeah.
for sure.
What's
Thank
talked
you.
about that, man? Is it just because I know a lot of people are gravitating more toward TikTok and
Yeah, dude. I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to pride. You know, no one wants to make a TikTok. Who wants to do that? You know, you're better than that. That's what I thought. Until I realized, like Charlie, for example, like look what he did. You know, he charted globally
Mhm.
from a TikTok, one TikTok
Right.
that took 10 minutes to make. So yeah, I basically just saw the numbers and I saw the transactions. It's very transactional. Like if one video goes up, I've experienced it myself. I'll go on my Spotify artists and there'll be 15 people listening to it right after that video. And that's Spotify alone. Or like Instagram, a video will go up, I'll just be scrolling and
Right.
it'll flood, you know?
Do
Yeah.
you see your followers in different areas of platforms
Uh,
compared to
in
maybe
different
another, like,
areas.
uh, maybe like, are you talk about your fan base? I don't know where I'm going with this,
Honestly,
but
my fan base is mostly women, honestly. Um,
I could see that.
more
I
loyal on TikTok or like Instagram, or
uh,
do you respond to your fans, or how does that work?
oh, I respond to everyone, bro. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing.
Mhm.
I like to respond to everyone because without them, I'm not me.
Right.
Um, so I just like to be nice, you know. And in a couple of years, I know it'll reflect on me.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to who my fans are and stuff, on TikTok, yeah, definitely mostly women. I'd say on Instagram, it's probably a little more half and half. It's probably leaning on the women's side. I
Mhm.
think that just comes with the music I make, though. You know,
Right.
I want to ask you a little bit about maybe some future, I guess, goals in terms of like you're putting out some singles. I know that. What you have albums in mind? Are you strictly gonna sit there and just release a couple more singles, or how many songs do you have unreleased right now that you're just kind of sitting on?
I have over 500 songs unreleased right now.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Over that, maybe like 600, 700.
So
Dude, I record a lot.
we gonna get an
Um,
album? Is that in
yeah,
the
for
the
sure.
plans or what?
I want to drop an album within the next 2 months.
Okay.
I'm
Word.
very big on like having a conception. Is that the right word? Yeah, that is. Just having a plot and a theme to
Mhm.
it. So I don't want to just throw a whole bunch of random songs in and just call it an album with a random name. I really want
Right.
like a driven scene and a driven topic, you know, and a
Right.
meaning to it all, especially when I put in so much blood, sweat, and tears into this. So yes,
Mhm.
album coming soon. I would say within the next 2 to 3 months. But for now, I'm about to just drop Purpose See What It Does, and then maybe an album after that, or maybe one more single and then an album.
Any features we should be expecting?
I'm gonna have Mosey on it. I'm gonna have Charlie on it. I
Nice.
think that's it. I want to just keep it cool, simple, subtle, and
Yeah,
let the music talk for itself.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
What about so what about audibles? No, I got a good one here.
My
What about
boys.
audibles? Tell the story. Audibles, I've really never heard of them. They produce music, a lot of music for Justin Bieber, and you're
Yeah,
connected
those are
to
my
them.
boys. I'm
What's the
actually
story behind them?
I'm linking up with them tonight. Actually, they live in Vegas.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah.
Who are
So
they and what's your connection with them?
So they produce a lot for Justin Bieber. They produced Intentions. They
Mhm.
produced a couple other songs on that whole album. They produced honestly a few songs on every Justin Bieber album. I think after either Bleav or Journals, which is I mean like 2013. Um, and oh yeah, this story is actually crazy. I'm glad you asked about this. Basically, I was listening to a song on Journals, which is one of Justin Bieber's albums. It was like an album that he made when he was going through the jail stuff and like, like his quote unquote bad guy phase. Um,
Mhm.
and that album didn't actually even get promoted. He just randomly dropped it on Apple Music and didn't drop any CDs or anything. And
Mm.
it's always been my favorite album because it's kind of just like a different side of him. And I think he's like iconic. Um,
Right.
and I was listening to this song. It was my favorite song on the album. And I'm like, I need beats like this. So I posted it on my story. I need beats like this. And Max looked on Tidal. You can check to see who engineered the song and who produced it. And he's like, oh, it's the Audibles. Like we have a few mutuals. I'm just going to DM them. So he actually ended up DMing them and they just responded. Like I said, the DMs are so powerful. And he just responded and Max sent them a few songs and they just really liked what I was making. So they drove from Vegas to LA and we had a
Nice.
session at Mosey's and it was just great vibes off rip. And yeah, it kind of just happened so naturally. And those are just my guys now. We have some stuff
Right.
too. They're so talented.
Talk
How
about
do you?
building
Yeah, go,
connections real quick. I mean,
yeah,
that's a connect right there that you
No,
didn't
for
have.
sure.
yeah. Honestly,
For sure.
how many beats have you listened to in your life, and then how do you pick what kind of beats you like, and
How
then you
many
throw them on the
how
singles?
many beats have I listened to in my life? Bro.
Yeah. How does that even go? Do you pay for a beat or like you does some like a producer send you a beat or something and you're like, yeah, I want this beat, I'll pay for it. Like you can
It
take a
really just
percentage of it.
it really just depends. It really just depends. If it's like I mean, when I first started out, I'd go on YouTube and look up type beats.
Mhm.
And then on it, bro, like it's bad to say, none of this music is out anymore, but I would just like download it and just like post the song because I didn't even know what I was doing.
Right.
Over time, you build connections with producers that you tend to work with more. And I started just doing that, building connections and working with people kind of one on one. So I don't have to pay them up front. It's more just building something together and I'll just give them a percentage. That's like the
Mhm.
standard industry. But if it's just online, like if it's a small producer, I'll just like maybe buy outright or just like, figure something out with them. But most of my songs that I have out right now, I know them like in a, not just like a business relationship, like kind of on a friend
Right.
level.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you're getting sent beats all the time and you're like, yeah, that one's cool. That one's cool. Have you ever missed out on a beat? Like, have you ever heard somebody else use a beat and you're like, damn, that song went fire for a second. I could have snagged that guy.
Bro, actually, yes, this did happen to me. Have you heard Haven't Seen You by me?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's like
I
haven't
was listening to
seen
a ton
you
of
in
songs.
I was
I
gonna
got to
say,
go
I
back.
Yeah.
just
But
listened
so
to
that
like
song,
15 of your songs in the last like 24 hours. So like,
yeah,
Yeah.
so that song I made in 2019 and I was like, wow, this is such a hit. I made it with Brennan, the guy who engineered Blu-ray Fago. And we were just like, wow, this is such a hit. We got to hold on this. Because at the time in my career, I just literally wasn't anything. I didn't know what I was doing.
Mhm.
So I held it. And then next thing I know, next year, this song blows up and it's at like 10 mil and it's the same beat. And I'm like, no, like, bro.
Dang.
But I reached out to the producer and apparently the guy didn't buy them like exclusively or something. Like it was a free beat, quote unquote. I don't know. I honestly don't know. My manager figured all that
Uh-huh.
out. But basically the producer just like already followed me and he liked my music. So he let me
Mhm.
still drop it. But that is something where I was just like, oh my God, like I missed out. I should have just dropped this,
Right.
And
I just
that's
feel like
another
that
reason why
happens.
I just do like one-on-one like friend producer stuff, because if you go
Right.
on YouTube, you don't know who's made a song on that beat, you know?
Right.
Actually, that's happened a few times where like other artists will use a beat and then I'm just like, oh, well, that could have been a hit and now it's just gone, you know?
Charlie takes the beat or something, blows up. You're like, fuck
My
that,
friend,
dude. Let me get that back real quick.
my friend Isaac Jacuzzi, shout out Isaac. Yeah, like we had like a little disagreement on this beat. Like this producer who's from Seattle, um, I'm not gonna say his name or anything, but he was like sending us the same beat. And then I was gonna drop the song and he's like, oh wait, well this guy's on it. Like he was beat shopping, which is like
Oh,
a
gotcha.
huge red flag in the industry. Like if they do that, you just like, you know,
Right.
it's like, bruh.
Well, fuck that guy, then, dude. You know? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Nah, yeah. It's all love. It's all love.
Liam, you got any good questions over there, dude? I got one.
I got one last one for you, and we can wrap it up. I know you're kind of on a busy schedule here today, but I guess
No, yeah, you're good.
the biggest question I usually tend to ask people, just kind of just get to know who they are as a person, but kind of just what do you see yourself if you could in the next like 5 years? What's your goal for Proper-Yates in the next 5 years?
Honestly, I see myself being the biggest artist in the world. Um,
Do you have any
and
like
I'm going to.
Do you have any like personal goals? Maybe let me kind of like narrow
That
it a
is
little bit.
that is my personal goal.
Okay.
Like I'm not even fronting you. I'm gonna do it. But I'd say shorter goals, it doesn't really have to do with numbers, honestly. It just
Really?
I want to
You're not a
yeah,
numbers
like
guy? I feel like a musician got to be a numbers guy.
I'm not a
Huh?
numbers guy. I'm really not a
Really?
numbers guy. I don't really care. I'd rather have people like it, and I'd rather have people really feel what I was saying than it to get a whole bunch of streams. You know, anyone can get a whole bunch of streams.
Mhm.
Is there maybe
But
a place you want to go, or
that's a good
somebody?
question. When it comes to life, within the next 5 years, honestly, bro, if we're just talking about me as a person, I would say I want to be married and I want to have maybe a kid or two by then.
Oh,
And
shit, dude. At 25?
yeah, at
Hey,
You
25,
said you got a girlfriend, right?
maybe like one kid. Yeah, yeah, I do. She's right here with me. She just got her Chick-fil-A. But
That's what's up.
yeah, I want to just yeah, I would say it comes down to just like more life. I want to be married. I want to have properties. I want to
Mhm.
have maybe just one kid, you know. I want to have a home that's in my name. I want to have a really high credit score. I want to have no debt. I want to make sure my family's okay. You know what I mean?
huh?
Yeah,
That's good.
totally, man. I love that. He's a humble guy. All right, I got a question for you real quick. Fashion, boys trying to step
Fashion.
up the game a little bit. Check us out, dude.
Okay.
Ugly as fuck.
Okay.
All right, so what you
Nah,
got, dude?
bro.
Like, what are the fashion tips? What are the fashion tips? And then give us some of your favorite brands.
Ooh. Ooh.
Good, I'm doing here. Liam?
Ooh.
Get some, write
Ooh.
it down. Get your
Okay.
pen and
Some
paper
fashion
right now,
tips.
boy.
Some fashion. Dang.
That's hilarious.
Um.
Like for I mean, it could be anything.
No. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Ah, I would say don't be too trendy. But don't be too out of the loop. Like I would say, for example, like black jeans and a black or white t-shirt that fits good on you with some Air Force Ones. Like that'll always look good, you know? I'd say a big part of it is shoes. People could anything could look good if they have the right shoes, you know?
Right.
So
I
you're
think you just
telling me,
described my outfit going out, Liam, every single Friday, Saturday night. It's all just black.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
yeah,
think
dude,
that's
I don't know.
good. A couple of my favorite brands. I mean, dude, that's so hard. That's so hard. Obviously, I love Chrome Hearts. One of my all-time favorite brands is Bape, just because I kind of grew up on that. Um, and then just like higher fashion, obviously like Louis and stuff like that. But I don't know. I like rocking a lot of local brands and people that reach out to me and send their stuff. I try and like
Like
help
who?
people out. Um, Royal Surge is super dope. Um, Dude, there's been so many. I'm literally blanking right now. That's
Okay,
awkward. Let me go on my phone. Hold up.
You got all that written down, Andy? You got it in the notes? You good?
Yeah, I mean, but keep it, like I ain't getting no Louis, dude. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Trying
yeah,
to pay
yeah,
off my
yeah,
credit
yeah.
card over here, dog.
No,
man.
yeah.
My man will sit there for 15 minutes looking in the mirror saying, all right, do I go with the black jeans or the black ripped jeans? I'm like, they look the same to me, bro.
Yeah.
I would say Superficial is the super cool brand. They're in Los Angeles. Super dope, guys. Super cool. Yeah, dude, kind of just a whole bunch of local. Royal Surge is from Seattle. Ruby Lane Apparel's from Seattle. Skunk Gallery, my boy. Yeah, just a whole bunch.
Cool.
Yeah. Tap in with
We'll
them
have to
too.
get
They're
you
super
in.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, trying to step up the game a little bit. We'll have to get you in some MTM gear, brother.
No, I'm down,
for
bro. Give me
show you
dripped
some
up.
merch
I'll
out
actually
there.
rock it. For real.
Dude, fuck yeah. That's what's up. All right,
Thank
man.
you.
If you don't got anything else, Liam, I think I'm good. This was fun talking to you, man. I appreciate you kind of
Where are you guys
sitting down with us.
located? Where are you guys located before we get off?
I'm in Nashville, and we're both from
Okay, yeah.
Nashville.
Okay.
But yeah, Liam's up in Indianapolis. He stayed there after he played college ball up there, so he just stayed there.
Okay,
He's got
cool.
extended
I couldn't.
family.
I knew you said you're from there. I didn't know if you lived there still or anything. That's lit. That's fire. I plan
Yeah,
on coming there soon.
come sometime. Yeah, come
Yeah, bro,
sometime,
I'd love
dude.
to. I'd love to.
Everyone's moving here, dog, especially from LA and all the big cities, Chicago,
I bet.
New York.
I bet.
It's crazy, dude. Well, cool deal, man. Proper-Yates, Mr.
Yes,
Proper-Yates, young stud in the wall. I mean, he's got a lot going on for him. Look at him. He's at the Grammys right now, and we'll be looking out for you, dude. Anything else you want to just plug in real quick before we get out of here?
I don't even know. Good looks.
We'll
Thank you
throw
for
the
tapping
socials.
in.
We'll
Yeah,
throw the
just my
socials
socials.
description.
Honestly, just have a good day. Just whoever's listening to this, just have a good day and vibe out. It's not that serious.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man. We're going to keep breathing out here, man. All right, well, you enjoy your day, brother, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you, bro. Yeah, tap in with me. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Likewise, man.
Cheers.
Only in the night.